Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti. I am MrPhotographer.com. In this video, I'm going to review the Sigma 105mm F1.4 art lens. Before we begin, if you could do me a favor, if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel and click that little bell so you get updates. Also share and like this video and follow me on Instagram. I'm at Anthony Morganti on Instagram. All right, build quality, it's built really well. It's built as good as any lens I own. It's solid, it has weather sealing, so if you're an environmental photographer or a lifestyle photographer and you're often out taking images in the elements, you really have nothing to worry about. The focus ring is really thick and very smooth, so it manually focuses very well. Now, as far as just regular focus, autofocus, it's kind of slow. It will tend to search a little bit, especially in lower light, even when you're at f1.4. But when it does achieve focus, which it will, it's not that it can't achieve focus, it will. It's just a little bit slower than most of my other lenses. When it does achieve focus, it really locks on and it is very sharp. You get a very, very sharp image. It does not have optical image stabilization built in, but if you are a Sony shooter, you of course have that built into the body of your camera. If you're a Nikon or Canon shooter, you just have to really be careful and use good technique when you're framing your shot. Now, I did test this Nikon mount with the F to Z adapter on my Nikon Z6, and it works perfectly. And of course, the Nikon Z6 has optical image stabilization built in, so that helps in that regard. Now, I'm not sure if this in a Canon mount will work with the new Canon mirrorless cameras. If anyone has one of the new Canon mirrorless cameras and has the Sigma 105mm lens as well, maybe put in the comment and let us know if it works with that camera. Now, one thing along the body is it has a tripod mount, and it is an Arca Swiss compatible already, so you don't have to put a plate on it. It will mount directly on an Arca Swiss ball head, which I really like because, at least for me, when I put those plates on a lens's mount, they never seem to get tight enough and they kind of swim around. So I really like that feature. The main thing that is, to me, a detriment about this lens is it's really heavy. It's 3 pounds, 14 ounces, and when I pair it with my Nikon D850, which is like 3 pounds, 2 ounces, it's really heavy. It's a very heavy setup. That's the main detriment. The main attribute is it takes beautiful images, fantastic images, and the bokeh is excellent. But one note about the bokeh, if you have a pointed light source behind your subject, and that pointed light source is more towards the middle of the frame, they're going to be beautiful round balls. But as it gets out towards the edge, they're going to start flattening out and become footballs. And that, of course, isn't always desirable. So if possible, when you're framing a scene or framing a subject, and behind them are pointed light sources, try to frame everything up so those pointed light sources are more towards the middle of the frame, and then you'll be really happy with that type of bokeh. Now, beyond that, meaning beside pointed light sources, the blur is beautiful. I shot this at f1.4. I've had one eye perfectly in focus, and the focus just drops off beautifully on either side of the face. One thing I will recommend is you should not practice focus and recompose when you're shooting at 1.4 because the depth of field is razor thin. And what I mean by focus and recompose, many people will keep the focus point right in the middle, and then they'll tilt the camera so the focus point is over their subject's eye, achieve focus, then recompose and take the photo. Because the depth of field is so thin, when you do that, you're really going to lose focus on the eye. So what I recommend you do is you compose the scene and then use a focus point that is naturally already over the subject's eye and focus that way. And you're going to find that you're going to get a lot more keepers that way. Now, beside the lens itself, it comes with this really robust lens hood. They say it's made out of a composite graphite plastic material, and it doesn't screw on like a conventional lens hood. You just kind of place it on, and it has a set screw that you kind of thumb down to lock it on. I really do like it. I think it's really heavy duty, and I tend to drop lens hoods all the time. I haven't dropped this one yet, but because, at least they're claiming, it's a composite graphite plastic, hopefully it won't break on me, because as you can see, it is relatively big. The other thing is it will take 105mm filters. Now that is a problem, especially if you're out shooting portraits in the daylight and you want to shoot at f1.4, because quite often you're going to need an ND filter. 105mm ND filters are kind of hard to find, and if you do find them, they're going to be relatively expensive. So if you're often doing that type of shooting, you have to keep that in mind, because those ND filters will be very expensive. So to wrap it up, I really do like the lens. I bought it myself with my own money. It was $1,599, and I would do it again. It's a really good lens. I'm going to be using it a lot, and you're going to see it a lot in future videos. In the description below the video, I'll have a list of all the equipment I talked about, including this lens. Check it out. Thank you, everyone that watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.